You know what, guys? I didn't check the audio. Well, greetings and hello there to all the Noochlings and Gerblets and Songeta. Hey, Songeta's here to join us today. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. What's up?
Hey, Nooch. Thanks for having me on. Doing good.
And Gerbil, how is life going these days?
Great. Just spent a week in Spain and Barcelona. So if anybody wants some current to the moment travel advice, let me know.
So I've heard is it Barcelona or Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
That sounds very Italian. I don't know. I'm not.
It's a Barcelona with the burrito.
No. Wow. All right, we're gonna get off of that topic immediately. So, so gentlemen, we got some talk about. The Gungan Phalanx is here, obviously, which has been a hot source of debate among. Well, I've been talking about the phalanx and the definition of phalanx. I've been very excited about, but generally speaking, I thought we'd take a look at that, or we thought we'd take a look at it. And then Songeta's got his new free-to-play account going. How deep are you into that, Songeta? I think it's like almost 3 months now.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally as long as this year is because I started on New Year's. So easy to keep track. So 101, 102 days. I actually just hit level 85 last night, and I'm going to have a video on that today. So
that sounds,
congratulations.
Yeah, that's about the exact time frame that I've always done it in. So we're going to talk about that account, though. We're going to have some fun doing that.
Actually, you did it in 114 days, so I beat you by about 2 weeks.
You're faster than me. Congratulations. Yes, yes. Well, let's do this. Let's go look at the phalanx, and then we're going to circle back to that free-to-play and have some good conversations around that. So let's get over here. Well, I've got the phalanx up on the screen. First of all, I love the picture. I love the fact that the guy's smiling. He's got a finger. He looks very Gungan, like more Gungan than the other ones to me.
Oh, I hate that. I hate his look. He looks so stupid. So yeah, over the front line.
I think I'm ready to make some predictions about your movie rankings, but I'll hold off on that.
Actually, you can't. You will not.
Oh, okay.
If you make a ranking based on this comment, you will be wrong.
Oh, okay, cool. So, but you don't like the Gungan appearance. I have to say, when I saw the first movie, I was not impressed with the Gungans either at the time. They've grown on me a bit.
I like Gungans. I just don't like this picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what about it?
Songeta and I coming in on opposite sides there, and Gerbil just trying to balance us out.
A little confused.
Well,
I agree. He's got a goofy face, but I love the shield. I really love that shield. That looks beautiful, I think.
Cool.
The shield is awesome. So if you guys look at the kit, I'm kind of scrolling down a little bit because the first thing I noticed when I was looking at this was Galactic Challenge Omicron. I know Arnold talked about it in his video, but when I saw GC Omicron, I was like, wait, yeah. So let's see. There, Gerbil's got the face. So I don't know. Songeta, what do you think of a Galactic Challenge Omicron?
I didn't look.
He's got a.
I didn't read it. I don't watch the kit reveal videos. I didn't know that, but that seems kind of bad. Like just another Omicron that's like you don't have to do it, like Conquest. It's like, okay, so it just scares me. How often are you gonna have a Gungan Galactic Challenge? Like, are they gonna spam it every other one for 3 months? Like, how does that make sense? Just
I think they will.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they will spam it, similar to what they did with the Inquisitors, and then after that, it was what was the other faction they did that too?
That was the worst.
Well, as someone who unlocked GI like day one, actually, I was loving that. But yeah, no, it sucks. Just how it went on, and the community was so unhappy because most people were not stupid enough to spend on it like I did, right? But there's an optimistic side of me that says maybe this will only be like 10 Omicron shards instead of 20. Even then, it ain't worth it. At least I don't think it's going to be worth it.
Well,
that's still
for me.
It's worth it.
For me, Galactic Challenge is like if I get the double gold stripe box, and anything is a little, and it's difficult to get it from there. I just move on. Like I realize the red crate is nicer, but it's like if I get my 2 Omicrons out of it, and the other achievements are like looking real beefy or hard to get, I'm like I'm just gonna live my life and take my 2 Omicrons and go away. And So I'm not going to invest, 10 crates of that into, or even, into a, yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's look at his abilities. Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. Oh, I was going to talk about that Omicron ability, but yeah, we can circle back to that.
Yeah, let's circle back to it. So, I mean, fierce poke, and I think we're all. I kind of had on and on in the background. I haven't looked closely at it. So, he's not going to be a damage dealer. It's going to be like that typical tank damage, I would imagine, where he just hits and it's like 40 damage, and he's tanking for the team, right? I mean, he's applying daze and defense down. It looks fine. I don't see anything special. Anybody see anything special there?
No, not really. Days on basic is decent, so you will be able to spread that around if you're controlling it. But there's nothing that makes me go, "Ooh, that's amazing."
Yeah. The next ability, the Hey, oh, watch out. As I'm looking at it, that's the third one. All three of the other characters have AOEs, so they all have these AOEs. And this one inflicts tenacity down, which is kind of important because there's, the debuffs applied by Boss Nass and the rest of them. And then he also taunts. That kind of looks like initially his primary, I'm going to taunt, I'm going to get tenacity down, I'm going to hammer everybody. Yeah, that to me looks like maybe the place you start, right?
It also inflicts provoked, which Songeta, I don't know what that does. I'm sure you know. What does provoked do?
That's the I mean, it's one of the most forgettable ones, or it's like the easiest to forget because it's so rare. It's like the red retribution thing you get that makes you counterattack. It's in like Kessel. They do it in TB.
Yeah. So basically, it doesn't cleanse with like a buff cleanse or something. It's still there, and you have to counterattack.
Yeah.
And why do we want them to have retribution, essentially?
They do like 90% less damage, and then something else bad happens. Yeah, 90% less damage when attacking a turn. Whenever they attack, they take damage equal to 20% of their max health. So yeah, they're attacking and hurting themselves.
But
okay, that adds up quick.
Right. Now, but then if he's countering on his basic and he's hitting every target, he's applying defense down or daze across the board then every time he counters. And we don't know what he's going to look like exactly for health, but if he's taking health damage, I mean, their whole kit is based on just massive amounts of protection, right?
Here is a scenario where that's like a disaster. So if they don't have any protection against like attacks under protection, and it's Separatist, if he does that and then hits Dooku and then you just keep attacking Dooku, he can just kill you. Because if he has riposte, he'll just keep poking you and killing you.
But what about the days?
Yeah.
That's why you apply
the days,
right?
Cleanse the days selectively.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Do they get a daze from the same ability?
No, so the daze is on basic. So what I'm thinking happens is he applies the tenacity down, so the daze is unresistible at that point. Then he applies the provoke down at the same time. So then you hit Dooku. Dooku will counterattack once. Hopefully you survive. But then you have does he also have retribution? So then he hits Dooku back, inflicting the daze, ending the loop.
If
That's
there's no
the way
tank.
I'm reading it.
If nobody's taunting at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deal damage. Yeah. So he'll counterattack, assuming Dooku doesn't one-shot him, which I don't think he will.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Now, let's look at the next one. Let's go. So let's keep putting these together here. So the next one, raised a shield, is special too. Deal physical damage. Deal additional damage equal to 10% of his max protection, which seems like that could be pretty rough, actually.
Yeah.
Inflict vulnerable on all separatists. That's very specific. Separatist enemies. I'm not a fan of that. We talk about this all the time, Gerbil. Like the theory crafting is almost completely gone from the game, with the only recent example being Gidme, and I haven't seen a lot of other theory crafted teams out there where you put somebody on a team that just seems like and this putting inflict vulnerable on separatist enemies, it's just so very, very specific and
so restrictive.
It just bothers me. I don't know. That's yeah.
Every Gungan has an anti-separatist ability baked into their kit somewhere, and they're already like by themselves in teams of 2 and 3. They're already taking down like Grievous squads and NOOCH squads, and so it's not even essential at this point.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, as a new faction, they're inherently end game, and it's like end game players, unless maybe in TW actually. So like in TW, Trench is a problem, but like other than that, like JC, you're not really worried about separatists right now. So
Yep.
kind of weird.
All right.
But we may see more separatists left at the end of the year, though. Being the 25th anniversary of Phantom, and we may be getting a separatist capital ship, which means we may get more separatist pilots. So.
I just can't see
I want a
that.
Trade Federation tag.
That'd be cool.
Ooh, that
That'd
would be
cool.
great.
Now, well, there were also leaks where they had a couple of. If you look on the SWGOH events server, there was the Super Battle Droid or whatever that comes out in Geonosis territory battles. That was actually leaked as a character, basically, and then Crosshairs. But he would be an
You mean
Empire.
the April Fool's leaks?
Yeah.
The what?
Those were April Fool's leaks.
Oh, is that what it turned out to be? I missed that. If that was the case.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that
believe
was
that.
April Fool's.
Yeah,
Well,
see, the clones shouldn't be
gotcha.
getting any love this year.
What, I don't know what you. What about the clones? What?
Oh, I said they shouldn't be getting any love yet, because if this year is all about Phantom Menace, and maybe next year, they go through the rest of the prequels, then it should be a couple years before we get clone action. So
All right.
I think a Trade Federation ship is very possible. We get a droid capital ship, another droid ship or two, and then that obviously that splits up maybe Malevolence, but then maybe we get Dooku's ship or Asajj's ship, and they start to fill in.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but we've already got like 9 Galactic Republic ships, so you throw a few more of those in there, and you got 2 fleets, and you don't, because I don't think they want people to stop farming Negotiator and Malevolence, is it right? Like if you put, I don't know.
Anyway, so raise the shield.
So raise the shield. So I did see on here whenever, let's see, where was it that? Wait, that was raise the shield. Sorry, the last one, the unique, or let me help the Zeta.
Hang on, go back to raise the shield.
Oh, go back to raise the shield. Okay.
Yeah. There's a new mechanic here. As far as I'm aware, it's a completely new mechanic that says Gungan Alliance Gauge Shield Up, not Protection Up. It's Shield Up for 25% for 2 turns. And then the Phalanx gains his Retaliate for 2 turns, which can be copied. And Shield Up, it says, gain a shield based on max protection. Because Protection Up is based on max health, right? So is this our first instance of Shield Up in the game?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay. And then Retaliate, that's different from Retribution, right? Whenever this character is damaged by an attack, deal 20%. That's like the reflection damage in Challenge and Conquest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little better. It's like the gas version of the reflect damage, not the Padme version, because it's 20%.
Okay. Yeah. So Shield Up, not to be confused with Protection Up, will give you 25% of his maximum protection value, which it should be really high between Boss's abilities, and then he's got the same thing, which we'll get to the unique, where he's going to lose 75% of his health, and that's going to become protection. So, I mean, he should have easily 250, maybe 300,000 or more protection when the matches start.
So, do you think that is the gain of shield? Will that be like another bar, or will that be just some new buffs that they put out there?
It'll be like probably similar to Protection Up. It might be purple. Maybe they'll pick a different
that makes sense.
color, but I think it'll be a different bar overlaying the blue bar.
And units that ignore protection, are they going to ignore shield? I don't think so.
Probably
Otherwise,
not.
It's not inherent in the description, so I think that an exception like that has to be in someone's kit, or they will ignore the shield.
Interesting. Huh. Well, we're going to find out.
Wow.
Okay,
He did it.
Will.
He did it. Okay, then the unique, his just one unique with a Zeta, and like you mentioned a minute ago, loses max health and gains up max protection. That's his whole team, right? Like they're just sitting there. If you get through the protection, it's going to be over in a quick little heartbeat. You could probably kill him with Cup at that point, and people will enjoy that if they're able to do that. So I'm just looking through this potency up, removing 8 stacks of recharge, and that's a lot of stacks, isn't it?
Yeah, it only starts with 10, I think.
Right. Let me see. If the ally shield loses 2 or more stacks, Phalanx taunts. So he'll lose the stacks, but then he'll taunt, and then I guess they'll try to and I don't remember what all adds stacks back to the shield generator, right? Let's see here. 10
I'm
stacks.
looking it up.
Wait, it gains 10 stacks of plasma shielding, not I can't keep it straight. Not recharge. So recharge is the one off to the side. Plasma shielding is the one that says when it's out, it's gone, right?
Don't look at me. I didn't even read the skit before today.
All right. So Phalanx will be taunting. Phalanx will be the tank. Phalanx will be taking damage. Phalanx has that's in Galactic Challenges, so who cares, right? We're not going to read that. I'm not going to read the Galactic Challenge.
Whatever. Who cares?
Who cares? All
Yeah.
right.
The recharge shield generator mechanic starts with 50. So he does remove 8 of 50. So it's a lot, but it's not that big.
It's a pretty simple kit mostly. I like the fact that it's pretty easy to read. So all right, so I'm looking let's talk about this with the Gungans for both of you. When is Jar Jar coming? And will we be able to farm all the characters with extra crystals, or are you gonna have to spend the $300 to buy it with the gross pack that you gotta pull over and over and over and over and over again? So how's that gonna work for Jar Jar? That's my question.
That's a good question. What do you think, Songeta?
I am also completely ignorant on this topic. I've never bought the gamble packs or rushed with crystals, so it's all the nodes for me.
All right, well, I'll take a gamble at it. So we've been getting, we got Boss Nest. 2 weeks later, we got, was it Tarpals that came second?
Yep.
Then there was a short reprieve in there. I think we had 3 weeks instead of 2, or maybe it was a month. I don't remember, but I don't think it maintained the 2-week cadence. Then we got the Boomadeer, and tomorrow would be 2 weeks from that. So I think that was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. If I could be wrong. If they maintain that, we could get Jar Jar on the 25th, April 25th, which would be coincides with 25 years since Phantom Menace. So
yeah, that's really, really fast. And I guess that's just to lock out anybody that doesn't want to completely, because I was hoping to unlock Jar Jar on my account like immediately. I've been farming him, but I'm not going to drop $600 on 2 of those journeys where you got to pull 40 of those 1,200 crystal packs or whatever. So I guess we'll find out. I was thinking like May the 4th, kind of in that target range, since it's getting close to that right now.
I just looked it up, and I was thinking days, not actual release date, but the actual release date of Star Wars Episode 1 was May 19th.
That sounds right.
So yeah, so if they do, we get Phalanx tomorrow on the 11th, I guess, and then that would give us 5 weeks to May 19th.
All right.
Obviously, May 4th is closer, but that's on a Saturday, and we know that it's going to have bugged kits and problems, and I don't know that they want to work on a Saturday.
Saturday? When did you come in on Saturday? All right.
Sunday. Well, May 19th, Sunday, so yeah. Okay, they're working on one weekend.
I think that's enough Phalanx talk for now. You know what? Let's do this. Let's talk about, let's go to Songeta's free-to-play account. And Gerbil, you said you haven't really seen the account. I'll tell you guys, making content, working a job, because Songeta, I've kept up with some of it, and you just can't watch everybody's videos out there all the time. It's impossible.
Right.
I do try to drop into streams every now and then, but Songeta, tell us about the free-to-play account, and I'm going to let Gerbil kind of go back and forth with you more, because I kind of know the path of it, but I think it'd be fun to talk about it here, and we can get people over to watching the series on your channel, too.
Yeah, sure. So I started with the new year, so the account is as old as this year is, so just about 100 days, maybe +1 or something. I have a video coming out later today, which today is the 10th of April. I don't know when you're going to release this, but maybe it'll be out before that, maybe not. I just hit level 85, and last week I hit 1 million GP. So this is all free, no packs or anything, no hyperdrive or anything. And the path I'm taking is my main big target is negotiator. So it's not like I have to farm specifically for that. Just need to like use get 2 as I get it. I have a total of close to 25,000 now. I can finally start buying the shards, but that's what I'm gearing towards. Started with Galactic Republic focus in fleets, which early that was and still is kind of Ahsoka ship, 5 ship, and then actually using TIE Fighter in there. And before the Lightspeed bundles dropped in my fleet arena, like I got in right after like the December round had cycled out. I was actually able to get to rank 10 among hyperdrive fleets like that. I'm just trying to build up like I put all the focus on the pilots. Like that I wasn't focusing on land teams. I was like, I don't really care that much. All pilots. So I got up to top 10. I was getting good crystals. Then Lightspeed came, crushed me back down. But I'm still like 60 something. So once I can start getting some relic pilots of my own, and especially negotiator, I don't think it'll be too much of a stretch to climb. I have beat the one-off Lightspeed fleet once in a while, but it makes my fleet climb time of day easier because it's the same on my main account as the free account. So I just like don't have to do battles on the free account, which is kind of nice on its own. But yeah, I just got Anakin to gear 12. I got to work on gear 13. The finisher piece is annoying, so I'm gonna have to like drop a bunch of squad farms to farm that. The squads I have so far. Oh, and also like the reason I'm doing this is because of Marauder. So like Marauder makes negotiator top tier along with like executor and stuff. And theoretically, you can at least get it a lot faster, free to play. So I have been farming the Bad Batch characters. I've been farming. I started with Phoenix. I don't have Imperial Troopers yet, but I am farming their shards just for assault battle purposes. Also using a Palp Empire Darth Vader team. So I have 3 Zetas. I got Rex, Vader, and Palp. And
like Rex or Captain Rex?
Captain Rex,
okay.
Obviously. Not that.
I'm just checking. I don't know.
No, yeah, and you can actually apply his at level 72, which like it's been like so long since I leveled up. I forgot how slow it was at the later levels and how quick it was at the earlier levels. But you can apply his at level 72, which is like 10 levels sooner than pretty much any others. So that was an easy call. I slapped that on there. But I got, a lot of legendaries already finished. Thrawn, Palp, R2, GMY, and I'm close to, like, I could theoretically unlock Padme if I just put my nose to the grindstone and gave a little bit more gear to Separatist characters, but it's like so strapped on gear and stuff. It's not really a huge point. And then another decision point for everything is like, does this character need Kairos or not? If yes, then they kind of get stopped at that tier for now. Once I get like Anakin and Ahsoka to gear 13, then I'll be looking at who to give Kyrotech to. It'll either probably be Captain Rex or Hunter Tech and Wrecker because I need them for that ship. And then yeah, I also have a Jedi team. It's Bastila. I'm farming for Jedi Knight Revan. I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time. I know I'm gonna have to like really focus on getting like key relics in each different team, but I do have to start 6 teams for Grand Arena, even though I'll probably get killed for a while because they slotted me in Carbonite 3. I don't know if everyone starts to Carbonite 3. I thought you did Carbonite 5, which I was hoping for, but there's still relic Lightspeed bundle players around, so yes. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I'm like 42 weeks into my Jabba free to play, and I'm in Bronzium 4. Or no, yeah, Bronzium 4. Basically, you climb in Grand Arena for the most part by just playing, and they don't play. There's the occasional fair matchup where it's like, oh, our rosters are similar, and especially that first round you might get it, but after that, it's just a lot of like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million rosters, and they just sign up and don't play for whatever reason, and go out and get your points and move on.
Yeah, it's almost like better from a resource perspective to tank intentionally to get to the bottom of Carbonite 5 because you get the crystals from winning a single match are kind of pathetic. Like it's I think 60 for me in Carbonite 3 versus 30 for losing, but the crystals you get from the bracket, like if you're top of your bracket, it's the exact same as even like Kyber 1. So if you could just like win your bracket, you're better. So I feel like if you want to go that route, you just tank all the way to the bottom to Carbonite 5. You're not going to really be losing many crystals. Like, you're not losing your daily crystals. I don't know, just a weird backwards thought I had about how it's kind of messed up.
No, it is. My alt account is just past 5 mil. It's not free to play. It is these days. I did buy the hyperdrive, and I got the Lightspeed bundles, so I'm close to Slicker and Ray, of course. But yeah, I jumped from Bronzium 1 to what's the next one? Chromium 1. Like, it was a huge leap, and I'm at a position now I really can't beat anything. Every account has 2 to 4 million GP on me, 3 to 4 GLs versus my 1 at the moment, and it's demoralizing, but it is what it is. So I'm slowly falling, hoping to get back to a place where I can win. Because yeah, like you just said, I've noticed the drop in the payout from the weekly event. That's a bummer. I'm actually really intrigued by your farming path. I agree with you completely that, like, in order of importance, fleets are number one. They're so overlooked. I think it's fair to say that fleets, a lot of people wouldn't care if they disappeared from the game. I really enjoy fleets though. But yeah, fleets over GLs over whatever, and down the ranks, right? But I think going straight after negotiators is really cool. And I think rather bold. In fact, I think NOOCH, you just put out a video saying go Malevolence.
I did not say that. No, it said which one should you do first?
Go Malevolence.
It's
always.
Yeah, it's traditionally been Malevolence because you farm the GOs and it's just easy to get to, and it's right there for you. So yeah.
So, a note on that. Yeah, I used to recommend that too, because like even my guys, I would do like, okay, yeah, you use the GOs with Executrix. It's the easiest transition for the ability mats, and then you go Malevolence. But it's like the investment that you put in for like those ability mat challenges is not that high relative to like by the time you get to like those get 2 ships. So it's like to double down just because of that, I don't think it's good anymore. Just because of it always kind of killed me to recommend Malevolence, but it seemed the most consistent for newer players to grasp, because it's like it's not just okay this fleet and then a completely different fleet. But Negotiator has always been better, and now it is so much better. And those farms take so long that I'm just like, it is dominant decision to do Negotiator over Malevolence. Like, I mean, I did the ability, like I'm very experienced and knowledgeable about the game, but I did the ability mat challenge already, even like focusing on that. Like I was banging my head against the wall for a while, but I got it like less than a week out. I wasn't able to get it immediately when I hit that level. What was it? Level 78. But like within a week I got it. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think you have to make your life revolve around the geo ships in that regard.
I think the probably the roadblock or the speed bump you're going to hit, of course, is the Bad Batch, though, because Bad Batch, if I'm not mistaken, is the most Cairo hungry squad of 5 in the game right now. I think it's 2,500 Cairo or 2,000 Cairo for the squad. Each one of them, I believe, needs 400 Cairo. So that's a big investment pretty early.
Yeah, so you don't have to do Echo, I mean, for the ship purposes. And then Omega, I'm just skipping. I'm actually going to use 5s as my 5th because I used him for his ship. Yeah, they do have Cairo.
Yeah, but that said, I mean, you're not going to go wrong by having a Bad Batch squad in GAC either. I mean, they're going to take down almost anything on offense, so that's good. Yeah, my trajectory with my alt account is really different and a bit notorious. I get so many people just calling me an idiot and I'm flat wrong, whatever. But I've had quite a few people that have coached through it, and they've also been really, really pleased with it. I went with in my alt, I went with a Rogue One traditional Rebel lineup into CLS for Hans William Falcon, Raven's Claw, which is really, really misunderstood the way it works. And I jumped to #1 Fleet Arena almost day one, as soon as I unlocked Fleet Arena. And I held that until Profundities showed up.
But you got Hyperdrive, right?
Yes, and that's a key difference, right? Yeah, mine was not a free-to-play.
I'm
But
yeah.
curious, Sanjita, as to see how long it's going to take you to farm Negotiator and Marauder. Like, are you in a GOTB guild where you're getting the Get 2 currency?
Yeah, I'm actually an officer. I took over as the TV officer because they were just so bad at it. Like, sorry guys, but we almost doubled our output in light speed, or light side, because it was just we'd like there'd be no control. Just like, okay, we hit this 1 star easily, got like not quite close to the 2nd star, and then just moved to the next zone.
Yeah.
So we got 5 stars in light side. I keep light speed, light side, and then we went to 9 when I took over. Before I took over dark side, we got 15 and then barely 16 when I as a non-officer was tagging people like a maniac to get to 16 because you get more crystals at 16 stars. But now we just got 21 just from like proper planning. So we're doing a lot better, and we're finally hitting the 170 million tier in TW. So it's like, yeah, it's harder to get in a guild like that, like just starting off. I know someone in my Discord server got into a guild that size, like without like help. It's just the weakest guild in my main guild's alliance. There's like 10 guilds or something. So yeah, that is an advantage, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't start an account just to see how much can you do with the worst possible approach.
Right.
I want to
no,
do
you
it
shouldn't
like
do that.
good, like this is what's optimal.
So
No, if you can get into a good guild, do it. There's
Right.
absolutely
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just common sense. Do it. Yeah.
how long do you think it's going to take you to get the? Because even with 5-star Negotiator, if you've got Marauder ready to go, should be doing some stuff, right? But how long do you think it's going to take you to get that fleet up and running?
So you need about 39,000 get to unlock it. I'm at 25,000, so I should get it probably in late May, early June.
So 5 or 6 months.
5 to 6 months, yeah. Yeah,
It's
like,
also
and I'm not gonna like write Executor off either. Like I'm trying to evaluate things as we go. I put in my guide Leia as the first GL, and then Executor. I put at the end, I said, okay, you can decide to do this, and like that's just a decision I'm gonna have to make. The big focus though, and you made a video on this, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Is like assault battles need to take a priority because they
Yes.
accelerate the rate you can do everything else. So
Yep.
it especially challenge tier 1. So like if you can get a
Mhm.
broad base for assault battles, you're really speeding it up. And I'm on pace for that with Phoenix, do 2. Like Phoenix and Imperial Troopers get 4. Like they each do 2, and there's no overlap between the 2. So they can do 4. And then I'm going to be doing like a Palp, Vader, Nihilus, Traya team probably for Sith. And then what's the other one I'm missing? Help me out
military
here.
might.
No, that's Rebels. Phoenix can do that. Forget
Oh,
about
Phoenix can do that. That's right.
Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Forget
So-
about Inquisitors. Oh, Jedi.
Night Sister.
And like I'm doing Jedi. I'm
Jedi.
going for Jedi Knight Revan.
Did we say Night Sister?
You need
Oh no,
you-
Phoenix can do that
yeah,
one. Sorry.
Phoenix
Yeah.
will do that one.
Night Sisters one. So I won't be able to do challenge tier 3. I forget if challenge tier 2 is doable without Jedi Knight Luke, but I think challenge tier 1 I could do with like Revan, and Yoda's a superstar there. So yeah, that's the plan, is like get those up and running before starting any kind of like super character chase, because it is painful right now. I'm just trying to get like Anakin to gear 13. It's like the Kairos are actually almost there. It's just the finishers are a pain. But then if you start getting those like 6 times a month, it's like they pile up faster than you
Yep.
can do anything with them.
Yeah. You'll have a stockpile eventually.
I'm 100%
I
agree
think-
with that. Yeah, like I said, I made a video about this. If before you even farm, I think that's your new core farming is just the assault battle farming, and that includes the Inquisitors. It's so valuable. It costs you a bunch to get there, but I mean, once you get there, you can do it. And I know you can do tier 3 with Grand Inquisitor. I haven't tried it myself because it was just I didn't really want to deal with it, but it can be done. Bit Dynasty did that, so
Yeah. I've done it as well. Yeah, it
But
takes a
I'm not
fair
really
amount of
into
time, especially if you don't really understand the strategy in it. You can grind that thing for 40 minutes and then lose in tier.
Oh
I think it
yeah,
was tier
it's like
5
30
or
minutes.
8. It's forever. It's so annoying.
It is super annoying.
all right.
I was gonna say another cool
yes,
thing
so-
about a negotiator farmed out the front, especially with right now the upcoming raid being Galactic Republic. You're going to have a bunch of Galactic Republic ready to go. Of course, we don't know who's going to be in that raid, but I would assume Anakin will be, Ahsoka probably. Well,
yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope
I
so. I
assume
mean, they're
she
not
would.
thematically there, but like we don't have much that was actually in the Phantom Menace in this game.
No.
So they're gonna have to have something. Mace
Yeah,
Windu for
so-
sure.
Yeah. So I think you're in a good spot for that, and that's good.
You try to get
thanks.
Mace in the conversation.
Oh,
Huh?
you don't need Mace.
I've been taking beatings
I
on
love
Mace
Mace.
lately. That's all. I'm very sensitive about it.
Why? What are you taking beatings on?
I made a video about characters you don't need, and I said Mace at the end of it. And basically, what I was saying was, you don't have to farm him at the beginning of the game. When you farm Jedi Master Kenobi, then you relic Mace, and that's what I was saying. But everybody interpreted it as you don't need him ever. And I'm like, yeah, you need him.
Dude,
anyway.
he is. He is. There are galactic wars I would not have gotten through if not for Mace. The Shatter Point is such a broken early game mechanic. He is so easy to farm, and like his ship, I'm a little less like sold on having used it early because a lot of the boosts are at 7 stars. But like, he's so good, man. He's like, and I was able to 3-star the mod challenges way sooner because of Mace. Like I was using Mace lead. I didn't have Bastila lead yet. Like Phoenix was taking a while because of Harrow and Hard Node. I don't know. And Imperial Troopers, I assume, would take some time too to get to 5 stars. Like got him to 5 stars, all these Jedi, and he just shattered pointing people left and right. He is so good.
I just took mine to Relic 5.
Go ahead.
In my main account, 11.5 million GP, and I just got mine to Relic 5. And I only did it because I rolled a level 9 Mace Datacron, and I'm like, well, what do I do with this? I don't even know right now. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, that's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing your accounts, Songeta, because since you're taking a unique path to it, I think it's great, and I think it's actually important for the game, obviously, but to see these different paths develop, because for a long time it was just basically Phoenix and Vader, and that was it. You start that path, Vader, you get Vader and Thrawn and Palpatine.
I basically still did that.
Yeah, and then for me, I still think the best and cleanest path at the beginning is the Phoenix Imperial Troopers, and you develop Executor from there. But let's do these different paths, and because I've got a new farm coming up that's going to have a different path because my people are voting on it, and they're going to make me do some really.
Jeez, you're like I don't know what do they call it?
Addict?
Glutton for punishment, like trying to like do all these new accounts. But like to me, it's always weird to like base your early game around like your Galactic Legend target or your Executor target because it's so like there's so much extra. Like you spend months and months not ever even getting close to that, other than like the stars you need. So. I don't think those have to focus into like early game. It drove me crazy when I saw people doing Supreme Leader Kylo rush accounts and like they all I have was first order. I was like, this is trash. Like, why would you want to do this to yourself? Sorry, Nooch, you did it. Arnold did it. But it was like, all you have are some relic first order. Okay, good job. Do they even do well in places of power? And like, those accounts go so slow. I mean, when did Arnold make his? 2021?
He started his 3 weeks after mine. Yeah, I started mine December 2020, and he was January 2021. Yeah,
and still like 5 million. Like I'm on pace to get like 3 million in the first year.
My account's at like 7 million though, so I think I've been a little more dedicated to it than
more dedicated. Yeah, 7 million is good for that, but it's like I don't know. I hated seeing that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, it was just for fun. It's just, for science. You have to
but like people, like new players do that. Like, oh, I need Supreme Leader Kylo, so in the beginning game, I should only farm first order and then not have anything else. And they're not fun and they suck. And you don't even get them into like slicker shape until, I don't know, 8 months or something because of relics. You look like a gnome right now.
All right, so my main account, you'll never guess, but I doubled down on Ewoks, and I rocked that. I still got them all at Relic 9. I have to say, farm what you enjoy mostly, more than anything. Do so with that caveat of understanding. it will substantially slow down your progress in different places if you don't have like, a good long-term map. I mean, this game is resource allocation, right? And management. It's a long-term game. It's a lifelong commitment. So yeah, I say do what you like first over anything. Have fun with it, but just make sure you understand where you're trying to go and have a road path to get there.
Yep. Agreed.
All
right, gentlemen. I think it's that time. It's time to.
We need like a jingle for that.
Okay.
Like it's movie time, whatever.
I'm gonna clip that off and use that going forward. All right.
I'll make you something better.
Songeta, we're gonna get your movie rankings. So here we are. As always, everyone ranks the movies when they come on here. Gerbil and I did it first, and we've had a variety and various. We've had Celiac Sierra who loved the sequels. We had Bit Dynasty who doesn't like Revenge of the Sith because it ruined his hero Anakin. So I'm very curious, Songeta. Let's rank the 11 movies, the real movies, and I'm not going to let Gerbil talk about Ewok Adventures
11?
again.
What are the plus 2?
The plus 2 is Caravan of Courage.
Huh?
He doesn't even know. See?
Rogue One and Solo.
Oh yeah, those are Rogue One and Solo, Star Wars movies. Yeah.
Okay, those two. I didn't think about those two, but they'll be a little bit later. I am not on the Rogue One train. I was like at the end I was happy. The best thing about it was everyone died. I was happy. Sorry guys. So my rankings, and I'm in hostile territory, and I'll just proudly proclaim it. So number 1, I think a lot of people can get on board with Revenge of the Sith. 2, and this is why you would have been wrong if you judged my reaction to the Gungan earlier, Gerbil. 2, Phantom Menace. 3, Attack of the Clones. 4, Return of the Jedi. 5, Empire Strikes Back. 6, the original movie. 7, Rogue One, I suppose. 8, Force Awakens. 9, Solo. 10, The Last Jedi. And 11, Rise of Skywalker.
So let's...
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, so let's talk about Rogue One. So my wife has this thing where she doesn't like tragedies, and she doesn't like ambiguous stuff either. But so is that kind of your thing? Is it the fact that well, no, it doesn't sound like, because you said you're glad they're all dead, so that's actually liking tragedy in that case. So what's the deal? Why don't you like Rogue One?
I mean, I hated cast. Cassian is one of the most boring Star Wars characters ever written. And Jin was fine, I guess. Literally all their voices annoyed me. Soft, I'm dying for some reason. And then Tarut, he's not a Jedi, and he's talking that irked me so much. Jedi use the Force, that in the sequels where the Force is everyone just use no, look, I'm one with the Force is with me. I'm okay, what is this? I was what is this? It didn't make. I mean, I saw it at an emotionally tinged time as well, and the person I saw it with, but I rewatched it, and it was better than the first time I watched it for me, because it was by myself, and I was able to look at it with a fresh lens. But I still think it's overrated, massively.
Mm-hmm. And see, and I put it top 3. I absolutely think it's one of the best Star Wars things to hit the screen. I love it, and I love him being a non-Jedi Force user, because in the expanded universe there are many species and things that interact with the Force. And so I thought it was really cool to see somebody who wasn't in the Jedi religion, or whatever you want to call it, who was using it. So I really enjoyed that. I also live some, but not always by choice, in China. And so it was kind of neat to see somebody from this part of the world featured in the movie. So I had a connection with Baze and True for that. because they're well. I don't know about Baze, but the guy that played Chariot, he's a very well known Asian actor here, so that was kind of fun for me. But I think cinemagraphically, is that a word? I think Rogue One also is just beautiful. I think it's just one of the best visualized movies they've ever made. But I have to agree with you, hands down, bar none. I'm really hurt, and I'm not going to do anything about it because I want pain. Yeah, I did not like Saw there. I don't like him in the Andor show. He drives me nuts. I think in the animated series, he was okay.
So yeah, and for me, in the extended universe, I find it completely logical that there are people out there that can use the Force but never got pulled to the Jedi Temple. Now, I don't find it logical that Hera can suddenly sense, use the Force, and Sabine is suddenly going to be trained. I find that stupid.
Yeah.
Yes,
but I do find it logical that there are people that have Force sensitivity that just never got to go to the Temple. I mean, think of if Anakin just grew up on the planet, like if they never landed on the planet. He rolled his eyes.
But he was already using the Force and didn't know it, right? I mean, he was. That's why he was able to run the speed race, speed pod speed, those thingamabobs with the boat engines.
So Phantom Menace was number 2, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about it. So what's your story there?
Well, right behind me, I got the prequels, so I'm a prequels guy. But like, I just love. It's the only movie with Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul. They are amazing. It was, and I feel like this is conceding irrationality, but it's the first movie I saw in theaters. I was 6, and I just like it. I don't have a problem with Gungans either. Like I was a kid. I like Jar Jar. Even now, he doesn't annoy me, but because I was inoculated. And a little story. So I am fascinated by the psychology of everyone hating Phantom Menace, because if you go watch documentaries back then, like the initial reactions to the movie were all positive. And then when they got out and everyone started talking to everyone else, and they all agreed to like hate it. And I didn't have, my family did not have internet until 2005, like mid 2005. So it was after all the prequels had completed. So I had and I was like 10 or 11 at that point. And then we got dial-up.
That explains some things, but go ahead.
But I remember I was also homeschooled till I was 12. So, and I remember hearing the first time I had any sense that people hated Jar Jar, I was listening to the radio. We were driving somewhere, and the DJs were talking about, one of them watched it, and one asked, so was Jar Jar Binks in it? And then they're like, oh no, he wasn't, or he's just kind of there, but not. And then the other guy goes, oh, thank goodness. I was like, what? I was like, what? What do you mean? Why? I was like, because my reaction was, oh, dang, he's not in it. But I was a kid. But I mean, I love Boss Nass. Like his I don't know, his lines. He's funny. Jar Jar's goofy. Me and my brother would try to do his like jowl thing. Yeah, no, I loved it, and I still like now. I've tried over and over again to watch the movies and see why people hate them. And the things people hang on to are so paper thin. Like this guy I worked with, and he wasn't much older than me. He was like 2 years older than me. So he was like the same generation. He would rag on like Attack of the Clones for like the Anakin Padme dialogue. And he said, oh, he went on for he had a 10-minute dialogue about sand. And I watched it, and it's like literally one sentence. And it's like, okay, you want to hate this. Like, yes, it's kind of like bad dialogue, I guess, but I don't care. It doesn't ruin the movie. You know, I think the things people hang on to are pretty paper thin and very much mass psychology reinforced.
There definitely is crowdsourced and crowd confirmation bias against things these days because of the internet. But I have to wonder, in 20 years, are people going to look back at the sequels like this and have similar comments? No, it was a really good movie. They clearly had a plan from beginning to end for all 3 sequels. Yeah.
I mean, some people might, but like the prequels are still George Lucas. It's still his overarching thing. I've read a lot about this. Like he had his whole notes, like an outline for the prequels while he was doing the original trilogy, just so things could stay straight in his mind. And he was behind the wheel. It was his vision. And yes, like things like the Gungans the droids are there to like sell toys or like different toys or something. But Like, I mean, the sequels, I was looking forward to the sequels, but like, it was so disjointed. Everyone knows it. I mean, those, it's just no unifying vision for it. And why
No.
9 is the worst? It's literally just like Deus Ex Machina mechanism after Deus Ex Machina mechanism. Like, oh, Lando, he's the smoothest talker in the galaxy. He talked to everyone, and they all came within the hour. Everybody. We're, you know, it's great. We're all
To
in it
some place
together.
that's inaccessible by anyone, right?
He has an intergalactic microphone that goes to 500 planets. Come on, guys. We got Emperor. Remember Emperor Palpatine? He was dead, but he's alive, and he's got 2,000 Star Destroyers. Come help.
And we
everyone
we
said,
need you
"Sign
all
me
to come
up."
fight right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
the
you're gonna
movie
make a
before that,
difference.
they couldn't get anybody to help rescue them when they ran out of fuel.
Right. And that on the heels of The Last Jedi, where there's like 15 people left in the Resistance on a planet, and then Luke dies from thinking too hard. And they have llamas running on Star Destroyers or whatever, and it works. In The Last Jedi, where they go to the casino and set free all the llamas or whatever they were, it's like, now it's better. That was very important. Yeah. Oh,
The casino.
all
I
made
forgot
sense.
about that scene. I actually enjoyed the casino scene.
No,
Well, I have a fond
Casino
memory of that. Don't
Royale
wreck
and
that
Star Wars.
part. I guess I have to rewatch it now. But that
Last
is actually
Jedi.
a moment.
I actually find half of Last Jedi palatable. Okay, and I'm okay with the way Luke died and the way they did it. It was okay, not perfect, but okay. The
I
whole,
like the fight.
yeah, the whole side story of the planet is completely useless and doesn't accomplish anything and is boring and it's just and preachy and it's just everything wrong with any movie ever. So yeah. Let's do this. What about Solo? What are your thoughts on? We're both kind of Solo fans. Not in the top 5 or 10 or not in the top 5 or 6, but we both like Solo and we agree that's maybe a little bit underrated. But what do you think of it?
I mean, it's really just unremarkable. I've seen it once, so it's like my slot for it is, I forget where I put it. I guess I put it after Force Awakens, but before the others. I don't know. Maybe it could bump over Force Awakens. I kind of liked Force Awakens, even though it copied A New Hope. But Solo is just kind of unremarkable. I mean, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I felt that way. A lot of people. That's a very split movie. A lot of people really love it or really hate it, and I'm kind of on that. It's one of the worst movies to me, but I know NOOCH really enjoys it, so we're on the opposites there.
I thought you liked it too.
I mean,
I guess I missed that.
I was never a huge Han Solo fan. Like, I don't like the cockiness. I do like him now, like as an adult. I love Harrison Ford, but I saw the original trilogy. I saw all of them before I ever saw prequels. So I was a child when I saw those two. But I like Harrison Ford now. I'm trying to make that clear. But as a child, I still don't love cockiness, but like all the cockiness, and he couldn't use the Force. I was like, okay, great, you're a pilot. But yeah, so like to see his backstory was like, and Chewbacca's great.
Okay, my one of my issues with Solo, and I'm just trying to pull up the cast right now just to make sure I'm not like totally wrong in this. Kira, who played her? She was played by
Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Yes. And that I could not unsee that. I was like, we were having watch parties of Game of Thrones. You know, we every time the episode would come out, we'd all get together, and I'm like, if you spoke during Game of Thrones, you would be kicked out of the whoever's apartment of the week. And it was such a social event. We were having a blast over here in China with that. And so then when I saw Solo, I was like, oh, it's Khaleesi. And I just couldn't stop seeing her in that role as the Dragon Queen, right? And so I'm just like, that was hard for me. And then the other one was the guy who played. I liked Woody Harrelson, even though I had a hard time getting him out of my head too. I think Donald Glover was really, really good. I've lost his name. Solo. Who actually played
he's
Solo?
In love with his droid.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden, right. I thought he had the goofiest grin the entire time through the whole show. And it was like, hi, I'm Solo. and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I really struggled with that. But no, I thought Donald was really fun, and I liked the L3 droid, although that was a little odd.
weird.
That relationship that was
Yeah.
very bizarre, especially how in the original series he kind of made it clear that he was a bit taken by Leia. He's like, well, hello, princess. So does he like biologics or not? And I don't want to go down that. Please don't answer. That was rhetorical. What do you guys think about the new movie coming out? We actually have a release date now. Did you hear?
No.
Which movie?
The Mandalorian and Grogu.
That's a movie?
Grogu. Yep,
Yeah,
it's official.
I don't know. I'm so checked out on. I have no faith in Disney at this point to make anything that has any. And the season 3 of Mando was just a big nothing burger to me. Like, just a bunch of individual stories that didn't really lead to anything. I thought, and not even all that interesting for me. But I don't know. I just don't have any faith in them doing anything well.
There was a lot of problems offset with I'm losing all my names. 3 hours of sleep will destroy your capacity to think. The guy that plays Din Djarin.
Yeah, and he doesn't show up anymore. He just shows up to The Voice and does the voice in studio. Right.
There's a lot of offset. So they were trying to kind of script him out. And so The Mandalorian was slowly becoming Bo. And last I've heard, he's back on, but he's been very wishy-washy with the character, apparently. So I don't know whose fault that really is.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of a boring. It's kind of a boring character. He just doesn't say much and goes around. Like his character is all circumstance. It's all like just things happening around him. He's like, all right, I'll go do that. Except he really wants to protect Grogu. He's like, give him back, and that's the only thing he really cares about.
Yeah.
Well, he's popular. That's the movie. It looks like it's dated officially right now on May 22nd, 2026. So we got a little time.
Well, if they're going to do that, the thing I remember seeing the very first episode of The Mandalorian, and at the end when we have the Baby Yoda reveal, and we all went nuts. I thought we were going to get the backstory of that species, find out where the species was. If they're going to do this movie, can you please take us there? If you're going to wrap up this storyline, let's go learn about the species, and let's put that in there. But I don't think they could even do that well. I think they'll find a way to make that I just don't have any faith in it at this point. And I'm trying to think of the last thing that Disney did with Star. I mean, Rogue One was amazing, and then just since then they just been spamming content and just hiring anybody off the streets. It feels like to write it, and it's like you just can't do that, man. You've got to do it well.
You excited for the Initiate?
Is that's the one where they're talking about going back to the first Jedi, right? The original one.
No, it's about 100 years, give or take, before A New Hope.
No, that's the Acolyte.
Oh, that's the Acolyte.
Oh, whatever it is.
The
Acolyte.
Okay.
Just like Night Sister and Initiate. And
no, I'm not excited.
The names of the show.
I'll have something to say about it, but I have no confidence. It looks like Matrix with lightsabers to me, but
I'm very excited about Skeleton Crew, though I don't know if it's still on or not. That one looks so good. No, I think. See, I have a different take on it. I think we're actually not in a bad place in the Star Wars franchise. I think that Disney gets a lot of bad heat, and some of it is much deserved because I think that they really struggle to do movies. But I think that the production quality of the TV shows is actually really good. I loved Andor. I really, really liked Ahsoka. I think that Rebels was probably actually my favorite of all of them. The final seasons of Clone Wars are widely recognized as the best, and those were Disney, despite what people think. So I think that they actually do have a pretty solid track record. It's just not everything is a superstar. Obviously, Book of Boba Fett was a real big miss. And then Kenobi.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, Kenobi, the Vespa crew. I can't wait to get them in game. I would dump 10,000 Cairo. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Kenobi, like I really enjoyed Kenobi, but I know that I'm not in the majority on that one. I think that the Grand Inquisitor in that show was really, really awesome, and that's what led me to Rush the Inquisitors. I loved his wit. I loved his sarcasm. I loved how he stood up to Vader a couple times, but in a professional, polite way.
I loved how you could stab him and he doesn't die.
Oh, nobody dies when you get stabbed.
Yeah, we know.
Reva, Sabine.
So, all
Take your
right,
pick.
let's do this. I know that I got to get the kid for school. Sanjita's got to get ready for work. Sanjita, any wrap up for us on the movies or the game or anything else today?
I think we've covered a lot of stuff, so I think we're good.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have covered a lot of stuff, and that is true. I agree.
A lot of stuff.
Gerbil, any final comments from you today?
Yeah, don't tell the community that you think Darth Bane is a problem for the game. I did that, and then that was a mistake.
Yeah, or don't tell them you don't need Mace Windu. Those two things, and yeah, you'll get a big, huge beat down online. I need to read less of my comments, I think, is what it comes down to. So
yes.
Sanjita, Gerbil, it's good to see you guys today. This is a good talk. We'll look forward to seeing how the Gungans pair out. Everybody out there, this has been a lot of fun. Have a great day, and as always, remember, NOOCH, Gerbil, and Sanjita, too good.